My Q&A video for September is here, so I've got a lot of questions. Get yourself a little beverage or a little sneaky snack and, you know, pop it on. Maybe you're doing some cleaning and you're playing me in the background. Maybe you're driving and you have me podcast style. Whatever way you're having me, whatever way, just hopefully you get some enjoyment. Alrighty, let's jump on in. Firstly though, if you are new here, my name is Connor and on my channel I like to talk about all things luxury, so if that's something you're into, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you're notified when I bring out new videos. And if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. With my Q&A, I will put a request up on my Instagram stories, which you can follow me down below, theclosetbyconnor_, or I will put it on my YouTube community page, which you're only going to see if you are subscribed to my channel, so make sure you do that. So whenever I put out a request, you can ask me some questions. But I'm going to start with the Instagram questions first. I did get quite a few. And we're going to start with Pat.L91. He has asked, whatever happened to Givenchy? It sort of disappeared into the bushes. Yeah, it did. And I think, like, I remember back in, like, 2014, 2015, Givenchy was in its heyday. Like, every man and his dog had some sort of Givenchy bag. And I don't know, you know, what happened over the years, but I'm assuming it's come down to, like, a creative director thing. Like, whoever's been creative directing for Givenchy, they have been not doing very well because, like, I'm not saying brands have to have like a knit bag all of the time, but it's been like a decade. It's been a good decade since Givenchy brought something else out. And I do see, I went on their website recently to look at something. I can't remember what I was doing there. I was showing someone something, and the Antigona bags, I have like all these different renditions of them and like different materials, and I'm like, guys, just let's create something else. Like, stop putting, like, we don't need to see one in like cow print. Okay, let's make a new bag. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're not doing something or anything because, you know, no one's talking about Givenchy, at least their bags anyways. I don't know. The next few questions have come from Daniel Joso. He has asked, what's the most overhyped brand and why? Well, at the moment, it's the Row. Like, it is very overhyped, and I just don't think you're getting anything significant for what you're paying. Like, I don't see a Row bag and think, ooh, you know? It's just very, I don't know. I know it's riding the coattails of the quiet luxury trend, but I just don't see a quality, like, I don't see the quality any different from something that's like a third of the price. You know what I mean? And the design, all the silhouettes, they're very like Hermes copycat silhouettes. I don't know. I just don't get it. I see it and I'm like, it's like vanilla ice cream. Okay, like, you're going to put chopped chips in there. You're going to put some little rainbow sprinkles, maybe some Biscoff. Nothing. Vanilla ice cream. It's the cucumber of the bag world. Boring. Daniel has also asked, what items instantly make someone look cheap? Ooh, I feel like this is just a Connor thing. I don't know if this is a real thing, but when I see people with like lots of jewelry that has no sort of purpose, like they've just got all these bracelets on and they're all like that antique silver, or they're all just clunky, or just like mismatched jewelry. I feel like that looks really cheap when I see someone with that. And I know this is about items, but like another thing is when people have like really like dirty or like ugly fingernails. I don't know, it's just such a turn off for me. Like, if I see someone, or if they have chipped nail polish, where it's like, not, oh, I can tell that they just like got a mani and it's chipped like a week later, like when it's all like chipped and gross. Ooh, I don't know why. I'm being judgmental, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a thing. And then the next question, what's your detailed dream day / vacation? Well, in Australia, we don't say vacation, we actually say holiday. But what I like out of a holiday is I don't like relaxing holidays. Like, I would never go to like a resort and just lay on the beach, because I can do that in Australia. Like, I live in Queensland. I could just drive 45 minutes to the Gold Coast and sit on the beach and have a relaxing thing. That's how I feel now. I'm not saying I'd never go and do that, but I'd rather go to like, you know, a city and do some exploring and a bit of a shoppy shop. Like, I like the hustle bustle kind of holiday, but I don't like jam packing a million things into the holiday. I like some free days, but I don't like resort holidays, because it doesn't tickle my pickle, okay? But I like being in some sort of city where there's a lot to do, where there's like museums and there's some history and then there's some shopping, like, and some good food. Like, I like all of that stuff, you know? Next question comes from Geraldine J. Vance. Hey, Geraldine. She's asked, food guilty pleasure, sweet or savory? Definitely more of a savory person. I do like sweet stuff, but like, you know, when I think we all have that craving where we're like, oh, I'm a chocolate person, or I'm like a lollies person, or whatever. For me, I'll get like a savory, like a salty craving. And I love, what are my favorite kind of like snacks? I love like salt and vinegar chips, or like even hot chips with salt and vinegar on them, like in the fish and chip shop, in the newspaper stuff, like the fish and chip paper, the butcher's paper, is that what it's called? Oh, like that is my crack, my kryptonite. If I smell that chip like smell in the paper, oh, I love that. And then I like Doritos, and I like one of my favorite things to do is, you know, the green Doritos, like the ones that you would make for nachos, the salty ones. I love them, dipping it into like Philadelphia cheese. Oh, take me to church. I don't know why, it's just my favorite. I love that. Ooh. But yeah, if I were to indulge in something sweet, I like brownies. I love chocolate brownies, but not like sweet ones with like icing sugar. I like them to be more bitter, like have the cocoa, like the actual cocoa dusted on top of them. Yeah, I more like the kind of bitter flavored sweets, if that makes sense. I'm not like a sweet tooth, but yeah. So if anyone wants to make me happy, you can Uber Eats me hot chips like any day of the week, okay? It doesn't even matter if I've eaten, I'll eat them. They're my favorite. Next question comes from Jens Demier, or is it Demier? Who would know? What do you do for work? So I work in finance at the moment. I'm, you know, good with not a lot, but I work in home lending. So I do like all of that kind of stuff. But I've gotten a lot of questions in this Q&A in general about my job hunt, my study, all of that stuff. So Judor has asked, I know I keep asking, but how's the new career search going? It's on pause. Well, it's not on pause. I'm not applying for any jobs at the moment. I am like looking on Seek and that, when stuff, you know, when you get like the email reminders and when stuff pops up, you know, I've applied, but nothing's really come up at the moment. And because I am studying, which a few other people have asked, what am I studying? So I'll get to those questions. Sorry, I'll answer that now in this question. I am doing a graduate certificate in HR management. And then if I, you know, like can manage studying that and then working full time, I can just continue on and do my master's in HR. So I'm just seeing how that's all going to pan out. I do start studying on the 21st of October, so it's coming up. And I'm slowly like, not regretting it, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have like no time to just sit in bed and watch TV. But yeah, it's going to be an adjustment, but I start that on the 21st of October. I think a grad certificate is 4 master's subjects. So then if I can do those fine while still living my life and not, you know, sacrificing too much of my time, then I can just keep going and do the other subjects to do the masters. It's like it's kind of designed that way. Or if I don't want to continue it, or like I don't want to go any further, I'll just get a like grad cert in HR. So I feel like I've like set myself up for success in that way. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I might, like, once I actually start studying and I can kind of put on my resume, currently completing grad cert, blah, 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 it might look better when I start applying for HR jobs, because they're like, oh, this guy is committed. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. But, you know, I've got my whole life, so I can just keep doing what I'm doing. And because I have another job still that I'm working that I don't entirely loathe, you know, it's fine. It's all good. Whatever's meant to be will be. Rinson87 has asked, have you ever been to New Zealand? No, I've never been to New Zealand. It's not really on my high list of things to go and do or places to go and travel to, although I do, like a lot of people this year on my friends have gone to New Zealand and I've seen their stories and it does look beautiful there, especially like in winter, which I know it's like absolutely freezing there in winter, but like all the kind of picturesque pretty mountains and all of that stuff, like it does look nice, but to me it's more of like a couple's retreat place I would go to. Like I'm not going to go over there by myself and go hiking up a mountain. You'll see me on the news like the next Wolf Creek. But yeah, like it looks pretty, but again, it's like so close to Australia. There's no kind of draw card there for me that's like, oh wow, I really want to go. Yeah, like I'd have to, like if I was going there for something, then yes, like if there was a wedding or if there was something like that, but I wouldn't just kind of go over there, you know. Sorry, New Zealand, but like, you know. Next question is from Jade Lotus Bell. She has asked, how do you ensure you get good use out of all the bags you've bought? I don't actually think it's about getting the most use. Like I don't think I can I don't justify the price with bags about how much use I'll get out of them, if that makes sense. I won't go, okay, cool, like this bag costs X amount, but I'll be able to, you know, use it for this and get my wear out of its price, like the cost per wear. I don't really think like that. All I think is, if I'm getting a bag, like what will I kind of use it for? And say, I don't know, like say my MTO, for example, up there, my Fendi one. When I was doing that, I wasn't like, oh my God, this bag, I've got to use it for, you know, every day because it costs so much or anything like that. I was kind of like, okay, cool. It's like a mid-sized range bag. It's not like the smallest bag I could take out, but it's not the biggest bag. So I would kind of use it for like, if I'm going to be out all day and I need like, you know, medium-sized stuff. Like I think like that, like, okay, there are occasions that this bag is going to suit and then that's fine. The only time I wouldn't get something if I'm like, oh, there's just no, like I don't have anything that would go with, or it just won't suit or something like that. I wouldn't just go and buy something for that purpose. So I don't really ensure that I get good use out of everything. I just make sure that there's certain occasions that it can work and it can be worn and the colours are right, and then that's all I kind of need to get me over the line. Luxury_in_reality. Ready to wear, is it worth the investment? If you were to pick one item, what would it be? I definitely think outerwear is the best of the investments. I would struggle, I mean, in terms of getting the most longevity out of something, probably like t-shirts and like shorts and that sort of stuff. If you're looking at Louis Vuitton, where it's most likely going to be monogram, you'll probably get the physical wear out of it, but like there's only so many times you can wear the monogram shirt and the monogram shorts and all that stuff. Like people will be like, I know it's expensive, but like, do you have other clothes? So I think that if you're going to invest into ready-to-wear, outerwear, like jackets or coats or stuff that is, you know, a little bit more under the radar, but those kinds of items in like street or high-end shops are expensive as well. Obviously, you're going to pay an exorbitant amount more for the luxury ready-to-wear, but if you're going to go get something expensive, you may as well get something that's like a good staple piece, like trench coats or coats, jackets, or like knitwear or stuff like that, where, you know, it's worth the investment. Well, it's worth it for me. That's how I justify it. It might not be the same for everyone, but I just think go hard or go home. And then I think getting pieces that aren't super branded or monogrammed or whatnot, because it's going to be a bit more timeless. You're going to get like longevity out of it, and it'll go with everything, like that sort of mentality. Or pieces that are like dual function, like if they're a reversible coat, or you can take say it's got like a big lapel hood thing, you can take it off, like stuff like that. I think that that's kind of like getting more value for what you're going to pay for. But definitely winter clothes, they've just got more substance to them. There's different textures and materials and stuff that you can play with. So that would be my advice. But yeah, in saying that, if there's a ready-to-wear piece that you know you can get some sort of dual function out of, then go and get it. Don't let me deter you. Go and buy it. Now we'll mooch on over to the YouTube community questions, and the first one is from Living Lux with Meredith. She's asked, have you been on Santa's nice list this year? And if so, what are you asking for? I'm never on his bloody nice list. What a stupid question, Meredith. No. I'm not asking Santa for anything because I'm going to Paris like 2 months after Christmas, and it's my 30th. So I think my 30th takes precedence over Jesus's birthday. Like, we celebrate that every year. And yeah, so I'm not asking anything for Christmas. I am putting all of my discretionary income towards the Paris trip because, you know, not spending money in Aussie dollars when I can spend it in euros and get a little bit of a cash back in the old tax refundo, if you know what I'm saying. Next question is from Ms_Mwah, and she's asked a few questions. Well, one question with a lot of subheadings, and then a second question. Money is no object. Where would you travel to? First bag you'd buy. Who are you taking with you? And the second question is favourite Housewives franchise and favourite housewife and why? Oh, that's a lot of good questions. Money is no object. Where would you travel to? I would actually love to go to, of course, France is my favourite, but putting that aside, I would love to go to like Switzerland because I would love to see, you know, the Alps and all the mountains and everything like that. And I'd also love to go to the Netherlands. I'd love to go to like Amsterdam and all of that jazz. Where else? Oh, there's so many places, but they're like the ones that I would love to go and visit first. First bag you'd buy, oh, it would have to be an Hermes bag. It would have to be a good old big Birkin, something like that, because I'm rich, money's no object. And who are you taking with you? Might have to take Dale along for the ride, you know, get her out of the house. She can carry the shopping bags. I think that, you know, she's a good little holiday accomplice. Second question, favourite Housewives franchise and favourite housewife and why? My favourite, oh, that's a hard one. I've been watching Real Housewives over 10 years. Like, so they're all so special to me and they've all got different feels. I'd probably say Salt Lake City is probably up there in the top 2, but that, like, I've had the youngest love affair with Salt Lake City because it's the newest one. So I'd probably say Beverly Hills would just be like my ride or die OG because like we've been at it, what are we at, like 13 or 14 seasons now? Like we've been in it for a very long time. And I love Beverly Hills because it's so, like, it's so different to like everyday life because the people in there have so much money and it's just such a big reality shift that it's enjoyable to watch. Versus Salt Lake City, it's like a completely different feel. Like they're more like real people sort of thing. And my favourite housewife would probably have to be probably Tamra from Real Housewives of OC, just because she was like, she made reality TV what it is, okay? She gave us drama. Like, when the Housewives was more like, look at my lifestyle, she made it like drama reality TV. So she kind of like paved the way for all the other housewives. So I'd probably say that. But good set of questions. Next question is from Francesca the Great. She's asked, do you try and stick to a colorway for your bag collection? And do you mix brands for your SLGs and bags? Or are you a matchy kind of guy? With regards to the colorway for my bag collection, I don't intentionally go, you know, I just want blue things, but it just so happens that blue will capture my heart the most. But if I saw something in a color that was just a color that wasn't, you know, something, wasn't blue or wasn't whatever, but I loved it, then I would get it. I wouldn't be like, oh no, like it diverts too much from my current stuff. Like all my bags don't need to have a sort of journey within a journey. Like they can just be what they are. But like, I do prefer like cool tone things, and blues for bags just generally are that. So I'm open, but they just keep bringing them out in blue and I just fall in love with it every single time. But I'm open. And do I mix brands for SLGs, mitchy-matchy kind of guy? No, I don't really care. Like, the SLGs don't even need to be in a color I like. It can, yeah, I think SLGs I'm more open to just anything because I'm like, oh, whatever, it's, you know, under $1,000. I can test this out. Like, I don't really care too much, but I think I've got a few blue SLGs, but not many. But in saying that, if I did, like with Hermes, for example, where the colors are so synonymous with stuff. So like if you got a bag and then there happened to be a Calvi in the same color, I would, just because that's cute. But I wouldn't, other brands don't really do that often, so it's like different. But no, anything goes. No rules with the SLGs. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. And the last question for the Q&A comes from Best Celebrant Ever. They've asked, when buying on the secondhand market, what should we look out for to make sure we're not buying a counterfeit item? And what are some good payment options that provide security for the transaction? Great questions. The first one, I would probably say, I see a lot of people doing this and I think it just isn't, it's like counterintuitive to an extent. Like, people try to find differences between a piece that a consignment source selling versus what they can find on Google, and they think that it's fake for whatever reason, but there's so many factors that go into it. Like, brands are always changing logos and fonts and stitching and colors and stuff like that every few years to obviously counteract counterfeit items. So unless you really are like very detail oriented and you know collections and you know, like, you've got a very good understanding of that sort of stuff, like, you've got to shoot yourself in the foot there. So I would just say, buying on the secondhand market, I would probably avoid places like, you know, Facebook groups or marketplaces and stuff like that where there's no kind of, what's the word, like, there's no kind of history with the person. Like, there's definitely Facebook groups where there's the same people always selling stuff, which is fine. But you're probably gonna have more luck buying from like consignment stores that have a big following and a long history, or a place where you can post in Facebook group and say, hey, is this consignment place reputable? Has anyone purchased from it? You're probably going to get a lot more success with getting a item that matches the description through that channel. Obviously it's biased because I have a consignment store, so I can say this, but even if I was just being objective and telling somebody, I would say find consignment stores on Instagram or Facebook where they've got a large following, and they've been selling for a while. Like, if you're scrolling back down on their page and they've been posting since 2019, 2018, 2015, whatever, that's a good sign that they've been around for a while. And then, yeah, just posting on Google or Facebook groups and asking if people have bought from them. I think that's probably the best thing that you can do. Or places that have like a, what's it called? Like authenticity guarantee or something like that. That's another thing that you can look out for. When it comes to the payment options that provide security for the transaction, it's kind of a two-pronged thing, because places like PayPal or credit card facilities and stuff like that, they do offer the buyer a layer of protection, but they don't necessarily, or if any, offer any protection for the business actually selling the goods. And I know for myself, I would much rather not be able to sell something to someone than potentially get scammed for selling that item, because credit card companies and PayPal and stuff like that, they will side with the buyer over the seller, and anyone can purchase something through PayPal or their credit card and do a chargeback, and those companies will just take the money from the merchant. So say like I'm, you know, my business, and somebody's fraudulently saying that the item I've sent them is fake or it's not as described, they've got a 6-month window that they can do that claim within. So they could have the bag for 4 months and then just decide, oh no, I'm going to scam Conrad's Closet, and then the money just gets taken off me, and it's like, was done 4 months ago. So stuff like that, that's why a lot of consignment companies don't offer PayPal credit card facilities, because the risk is so big. And yeah, like if I was selling pegs, I wouldn't care, you can pay however you like. But when you're selling $6,000 to $10,000, $20,000 items, it's a big risk, especially when you don't know people that are buying the items. In saying that, a lot of my customers, you know, they've been buying off me for like years and years, and it's the same people, which is great, and I love that. But, you know, every now and then new people will come along and you just don't know. So I wouldn't let businesses that don't have a payment method that necessarily protects yourself as a red flag. I would do the first thing and find out, like, buying experiences from other people. At the end of the day, when you're buying pre-loved, it's always, you know, nothing's 100% certain. It is what it is. It's the nature of the industry. But yeah, I feel like doing your due diligence first before worrying about the payment methods, you know? And Dale actually made a good point in one of her videos about when you're paying by bank deposit, you've got the cash, you're buying it, and then it's paid for and done, and there's no kind of, like, you've got to be very certain about what you're wanting to buy in terms of like, is this the right piece for me? So that's another good point. Like, once you've sent over the cash and it's done, it's done. So, you know, go figure. But yeah, hope that answers your question. I feel like I really rambled on with that one, but you're welcome. But there we have it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my Q&A for September. Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section and give the video the thumbs up if you've liked it. Consider subscribing to my channel as well, so when I do put out community posts on my Instagram, on my YouTube, sorry, you can see them and comment, or follow me on Instagram at theclosetbyconnor_, so you can see my story requests and all the other shenanigans I post up on there. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you all very shortly in my next video.